All right, Q&A number 2. Let's get into it. What's your favorite piece that you have composed? I would probably say, well, there's a tune of mine called Hope, which is on Dying Savior, right? When I wrote that tune, it was a very simple chorale type of structure, and I decided it would be interesting to put it in reverse, right? Do retrograde, and then invert it, and wrote melody and whatever, and that became the tune Rewind. And it might be obvious from the title that that song is about regret, and the other song, which is the reverse inversion, right? The retrograde inversion of it is about hope. So it's like hope and regret. So I thought those worked out pretty well together as sibling songs that you wouldn't really know they're related at all. Okay, so this is kind of like 3 questions, right? I'm assuming that's how did I learn to play Lumatone? How long did it take me? And then how do I differentiate different keys on the Lumatone? How I learned it is I was playing piano for about 20 years, bought one, learned it on my own. And I've been playing it for a little over 2 years now. And the way you differentiate the keys, it's the same thing as any keyboard instrument. It's spatial. And then the colors are helpful signposts. That's the way I would describe it. It's kind of like the markings on a guitar, right? But of course, with the Lumatone, because you can lay it out so many different ways, it can be tricky if you have many different layouts and trying to keep it all cohesive. Every layout is like a different instrument in a certain sense. What's my favorite song to listen to? That's a really hard question. My favorite band is Radiohead. I can't really pick a favorite song, but maybe, let's say, Life in a Glass House. If it's something like jazz, it'd be like Wayne Shorter. Fee Fi Fo Fum is a great tune. If we do a classical one, let's do Ravel Left Hand Concerto. How long does it take me to cover a full song successfully? I don't know if I've ever done it once, but the most previous time I did for the In a World I Built for You, that took me 4 hours. It's definitely going to depend. This isn't a question, but thank you for the nice comment. Okay, for someone who's never played piano, would you recommend alternate isomorphic keyboards? I'm assuming you mean like Lumatone. This is what I would say to this. There's 2 things to be concerned about. One is the availability. So that's like cost, if it has to be built to order and all this kind of stuff. Or if it gets injured, broken. Do keyboards get injured? I don't know. The other big one, which is more important by far, is the resources. The main one for learning an instrument, I would say, is a teacher. And that's probably the main thing you need to learn an instrument is someone to teach you or some books or something to go off of, you know? That's why I would say if you've never played any instrument, I probably would not recommend it. If you played other instruments, it's not going to make too much of a difference from my experience as a teacher, right? Because what I've noticed for people that play other instruments and then want to learn piano is they have a hard time with hand independence, except for drummers. But everybody else has a hard time with that. I think it's very counterintuitive to have the 2 hands doing completely different things. But that would be the same on any keyboard instrument. You know, the left hand is generally going to play accompaniment. The right hand is going to play melody. And you're just going to have to figure out how to do that. It's very hard for people that haven't done it. And that's not even factoring the pedal. Then you have to do another limb. Great. But anyway, so basically, I would not recommend it. But I also don't want to turn anyone away from doing something they want to do. If you want to do it, go for it. And if you need a teacher, you can hit me up. I'll gladly teach Lumatone lessons if you need it. Okay, how is my mental and emotional health? I think it's good. What is my favorite synth? This is probably a not interesting answer, but it's Logic's ES2. I don't really know anything about hardware synths, but this is just a built-in Logic synth. and it's a workhorse. Almost every track I release, it's going to be on there to some degree. Will I make more music like Saccharine Song with the dark circus style? Yes, I am planning on it. There may be a project I'm doing in the near future, but yeah, sure, I'll do more of it. All right, how do I tackle something like 30 EDO? I have 3 different layouts for 30 EDO. Generally, in the question of the perfect fifth, I would generally favor the sharper fifth. In my experience, there's certain intervals. I relate it to the Renaissance concept of hard and soft intervals. If it's a hard interval, like major third and a fifth, those tend to work being pushed sharp to a better degree than being pushed flat, if that makes any sense. And that's generally true for all the harmonic intervals, and then the soft intervals, minor third, minor sixth, tend to work better being flat. But I would generally favor the sharper one just because I think it sounds better, basically is what I'm saying. If you wanted the layout that you could do both, I would just use what I've been playing this whole video and then just flatten the fifth, because it's just that one step you need to flatten it. And it's pretty easy since everything's pretty vertical, right? Everything goes up by 1. So yeah, and so I'll end actually with a little 30 EDO chord progression from this thing I'm writing. I just wrote, I started with 25 EDO, went to 50 EDO. I'm going back and recording some of the parts, drum parts and bass and harmonica and, whatever. So this is a little thing I wrote in 30. Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you. Bye-bye.